In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove and replace a starter on a Subaru Forester with a 2.5 liter. It's located on the top of the engine, right next to the transmission. Take your negative battery cable off. This happens to be a universal end, so it's a 12 millimeter or a 1/2 inch wrench. Factory will probably be an 8 or 10 millimeter socket or wrench, but make sure you take that negative off. Take it right off the battery. And make sure you set it aside so it doesn't come up and hit that. So that's all set. So we have to remove the airbox, and that's going to be the mounting brackets are right here, and those are both with a 10 millimeter socket or wrench. Take those mounting bolts off. Now before I go to the other side to undo the hoses, with an 8 millimeter socket or a flat screwdriver, I'm going to take this vent tube off. And this is like a butterfly clamp, so you just squeeze it with your fingers, pull it down, twist that hose off. Now I'm just going to take the air inlet hose off, 8 millimeter socket. You can use a flat screwdriver. And then I'm going to take the throttle body hose off, same socket or screwdriver. There's one more breather hose on the bottom of this. See if we can access this so you can see it. There we go. So that has the same kind of clamp. I'm just going to squeeze that clamp as the other side, twist the hose, pull it off. Now we can lift this airbox right up and out of the way. All right, so now that we've got the airbox moved, we can see the starter clearly right here. We have the solenoid that's attached to the starter and the main battery cable right here, and then the solenoid wire down here. I'm going to peel that boot back to access the mounting nut for that cable. And it happens to be a 13 millimeter socket or wrench. So we're going to take that nut and loosen it right up. There we go. Let's see if we can get the rest by hand. Make sure we get that washer. Pull that cable off. Just going to tuck it aside here. And I'm just going to put the washer and nut back on. Now the solenoid wire is a spade on this, so it's a little flat prong, so we're just going to pull it off. Set that aside. Now we'll get ready to unmount it from the transmission. There's 2 mounting bolts. So the top bolt you can see right here. It's the bottom one that's going to be kind of difficult to see, but it's a 14 millimeter socket or wrench. I'm going to break it free. I'm not going to take it all the way out. I want to break that bottom one free first. Okay, so now that I reposition the camera so you can see that it's an actual nut on a stud that sticks out of that bell housing. It's that one that's clearly got a little marking on it. Looks like someone rounded it off a bit. But with an extension and a 14 millimeter socket, I'm going to bring it down there and see if I can break that free. Just going to take that nut all the way off. Okay, let's grab it before we drop it. And the washer at the same time. I'm going to use a little magnet that I have in my pocket here. Grab that washer. Now we're at the top. Take this bolt out the rest of the way. It's got going to grab that starter and give it a little wiggle. This is a long bolt because it actually goes through the bell housing to the block, engine block. So our starter is like stuck to the engine, or the transmission bell housing, shall I say. Very common. So I like to use a brass punch, and I'm just gonna tap it with a rubber mallet. I don't want to smack it till I crack the housing, but just give it a tap. That's pretty common with this kind of thing. So we'll just pull that starter. And now we got to figure out how we're going to get it out of here. Put the hammer and brass punch down. I'm going to say it's probably easy just to go up over here on this side. Bring that starter right up. So I'm just going to take a light coating of anti-seize. I just got a copper type. You can use the silver stuff if you want. This just is going to stop the condensation from the aluminum, sealing that up so you don't have to take a mallet to it next time. A real light coat. So now we're going to put our starter back in, and I'm going to reverse the procedure. Nose of the starter down, bring it down over by the booster. Clear the heater hoses. There we go. Put the nose of the starter in, and that bottom bolt hole will go right on that stud, which will guide it in. Like that. Make sure you're on. Yep. I'm just going to put that flat washer on that stud down below and start the nut by hand. I just want to get a couple of turns on it. Now I'm going to come up to the top here. Now first thing I'm going to do is that I can see that someone's been in here. Now this is a ground wire. This is a ground wire attached to a bracket that bolts that actual bolt through the block. Now putting a copper contact on might interfere with that ground. So I'm going to clean that up first, then I'll put the bolt through. Okay, so now you can see I cleaned that bracket up. I took all that never seize off there, and I have a good connection for a ground. And I'm going to put the bolt through. Flatten that out. Start it by hand. That's that 14 millimeter socket. Let's snug it right up, and we'll get the torque wrench. I'm going to do the bolt down below. Okay, my torque wrench is set to 37 foot-pounds. That's the factory torque. Here we go. Now we'll do the top. So with that 14 millimeter socket, we're going to torque the top bolt to the same 37 foot-pounds. Okay, now we can move on and put our battery cables on. First thing I'm going to do is, without that big cable in the way, I want to put my solenoid wire on. That's that flat spade. So line that up and push it on. You want it to be snug, not loose at all. Nice tight fit. There we go. And now I'm going to take my nut and washer off and put that cable on. I cleaned that cable up also. And you see how it has those two guides? That's how it's going to sit over that solenoid right in place. Put the washer on first, then the nut. Now this is because you see it's a copper stud and it's a winding electronic piece in there. You do not use like a crazy torque wrench or anything. You're just going to take a socket or a wrench and snug it. That's that 13mm socket or wrench. Like right there, it's bottomed out. I'm probably going to go a good 1/8 of a quarter turn. Not too tight because you'll snap that copper stud. Let's put that boot right over it, make sure nothing hits it. Now we're ready to put the airbox back on. So I'm going to start from the passenger side, put this airbox back together. I'm going to bring that down in there, get that throttle body, rubber hose right on there. Might have to at the same time kind of line up the air duct from the air filter. Slide them both in nice and snug. You'll see there's a crisscross pattern that locks right in right there. And as far as the throttle body goes, I'm going to leave that loose until I put both mounting nuts in it. I'm going to put that breather hose on the passenger side down here on the bottom. Slide it all the way in. And that clamp is a pinch clamp with your fingers. Bring this clamp up. We'll snug all those once the mounting bolts are in. So grab that breather hose. Let's slide that on first. Nice and snug. Grab that clamp. It's what you call like a butterfly clamp. Squeeze it with your fingers. Now I'm going to put that mounted bolt on, right on that bracket. Totally start it by hand. I'm going to get the other one too, because I don't want this cross-threaded. All right, 10mm socket, snug them up. Now I'm going to grab my 8mm socket and we'll close up those clamps. Passenger side air duct hose. And then the actual throttle body clamp. By mounting it first, it assures that that's nice and mounted flush. Make sure they're tight. You want no air leaks. Now we're going to reinstall our negative cable. Now you don't want it sitting up like that. You want it down flush. You want to always make sure that that lead stud is peeking over the top. That gives it a good tightness and ensuring that it's making full contact all the way down. Now we'll snug up the mounting nut. Now like this happens to be a 12mm. If it's, like I said, factory connectors, it should be an 8 or a 10. That would be wrench. I always put pressure on the backside when I'm tightening. I never want that lead battery stud to be compromised. You don't want to push it. Make sure there's no movement. Good to go. When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.